the biggest questions you want answered this upcoming season?
Number one, George Pickens. Will he be a distraction to the team, or will he be a big-time addition to the team? George Pickens is one of the most talented receivers in the entire National Football League. But last year in Pittsburgh, we saw some high highs and some low lows. Which version of George Pickens will you get? Will you get the George Pickens that is truly a number one receiver, or will it be the George Pickens that was in and out of the lineup? That's part one. But part two, Travis Hunter. I want to see, where will he start? But also, where will he star? Will he start at wide receiver? Will he start at DB? Will he start at both? And then will he be a star at either one or both? I think Travis Hunter has the potential to be a star on both offense and defense. James Gladstone, their GM, I believe he thinks the same. But do NFL offenses think he's the same? Will they try to attack him on defense? Will NFL defenses attack him when it comes to the offensive side of the ball? So I cannot wait to watch not only what George Pickens does, but also Travis Hunter this year in the NFL.
I love all those questions, and I can't wait until they're answered. So we begin the countdown saying NFL football season can't come soon enough. We appreciate you joining SportsCenter.
All right, Acho's got questions. I have answers to some bets you can make right now as we wait for the NFL season to start. Question, what's my favorite win total bet to attack right now? It's the Dallas Cowboys over 7.5 wins, minus 145 at ESPN Bet. It all comes down to this. If Dak Prescott's going to be healthy, they're going to win 8 games. He's done it every single year. He has played at least 14 games. So if he is missing games, we're screwed. If he's playing games, Dak has a floor of at least 8 wins. I do think George Pickens is going to be a good addition to that offense alongside CeeDee Lamb. Question number 2, what's my favorite awards market bet? It's number 1 overall pick, Cam Ward, to be the offensive rookie of the year. That's the answer right there. He's not the favorite. How often do we see a number 1 overall pick at quarterback not be the favorite to win Rookie of the Year? That's Raiders running back Ashton Jeanty, who I think is going to be good. But I think the value's on Ward, because if he stays healthy and plays all 16 games, it's likely 17 games. It's likely going to go to a quarterback. Question number 3. What's my favorite player prop bet? This is a milestone market with Caleb Williams to go over 4,000 passing yards. I think with Ben Johnson and the draft picks and the additions to the O-line, he becomes the first Bear in history to throw over 4,000 yards at QB. It's plus 250 at ESPN Bet. Final question. Here's my answer to the favorite long shot bet of the season, Tyreek Hill to lead the NFL in receiving yards at 16-1. Remember, before last year's disastrous season, he had 1,700 yards in back-to-back years. I think Tyreek can do that again at 16-1.
It's that time of year, time to go camping in the NFL. Veterans report to camp tomorrow for both the Chiefs and Cowboys, and Dallas has their work cut out for them. A new head coach with playoff aspirations, while the Chiefs look to not only dominate in the AFC West, but return to the Super Bowl for the 4th straight season and win their 4th Lombardi in the last 6 years. Reporting now to SportsCenter is our football analyst, Sam Acho. And Sam, Dak's healthy. George Pickens joins CeeDee Lamb in that wide receiver room. And everything will be led by new head coach Brian Schottenheimer. So what are the realistic expectations for this Dallas team?
It is realistic for the Dallas Cowboys to make the playoffs, but the reality is they're vying for 3rd place in the NFC East. Why do I say that? Yes, they have weapons on offense, George Pickens being one of them, but the defense was one of the worst in all of the NFL last season. They have a new defensive coordinator in Matt Eberflus. They have some new pieces, guys like Kenneth Murray, DeMarvion Overshown should be healthy. But I still have concerns about this team because why? Think about how much better Philadelphia's gotten with their draft. Think about how much better Jaden Daniels and the Washington Commanders have gotten. I think the Dallas Cowboys can compete for a playoff spot, but it's going to be a difficult run. I don't see them winning the division. I don't see them being a 12 or 13 win team. But if they can win at least some games outside of the division, they can compete in the playoffs.
Yeah, look, it's been 30 years since the Cowboys last won the Super Bowl. They have just 5 total playoff wins since being in Super Bowl 30, so they got a long way to go. Meanwhile, the Chiefs have won 6 playoff games in the last 2 seasons, and they've owned the AFC West for 9 straight years. However, the Broncos and the Chargers, they just made the playoffs last season, and you can't sleep on those Raiders upgrades as well. Any chance KC streak doesn't get to 10 this season?
There is a chance. There is a chance. I'm not saying it's a huge chance, but there's a chance. The reason why is look at the first 6 games of the regular season. We'll start, if you want to start backwards, we can do that. They have teams like the Detroit Lions at week 6. Week 4, you got the Ravens. Week 2, you got the Eagles. And you start off week 1 with the division rival in the LA Chargers in Brazil. I think that game versus Chargers could determine who wins the division. Why do I say that? The Chiefs have a couple question marks at left tackle. Will Josh Simmons be healthy? But more than that, these other teams they're playing, like the Chargers, have gotten better. They're more consistent. The Raiders have gotten a little bit better. And I even think the Denver Broncos, with their additions, with Evan Ingram at tight end, with the second year of Sean Payton and Bo Nix, they've gotten better as well. Everyone else is catching up to the Kansas City Chiefs. And I think that their early season schedule could prove very difficult when it comes to those head-to-head matchups and potential tiebreakers if they're going to win the division for the 10th straight year.
Look, the division is catching up. However, my money is on the Chiefs. Patrick Mahomes, 35-5 record in division games. That's all I need to know, Acho. Thanks so much for that.
5-year high for the Bolts. Welcome to kickoff of NFL Live. July 16th, the first training camp now officially open. Coach Harbaugh and the Chargers first on the field for camp. They're in the Hall of Fame game, preseason opener. 2 weeks from tomorrow, Joe Alt, Pro Bowl left tackle of the future, it seems, for LA, and Khalil Mack leads 9-time Pro Bowl selection, 5 times on the All-Pro team. Welcome to our home field alongside Jeremy Fowler, Mike Tannenbaum. I'm Phil Murphy. Mike Reese is waiting in the shadows. Booger McFarland is a satellite connection away. Boys, 50 days from kickoff to the NFL regular season. And offseason's done. And with the Bolts now opening NFL training camp, preseason is officially in. I can say off-season window is done. The Chargers still in search of a first division crown since 2009. Mixed bag for Justin Herbert, 2024. Set career highs, good in wins and touchdown to interception ratio. Also had career worsts in sacks taken. And related news, pass yards per game. Also had that disaster in the wild card loss, throwing 4 picks. Chargers only called the design pass play 59% of their snaps. That's the 10th lowest rate in the league. Hat tip there to offensive coordinator Greg Roman. Jeremy, now year 2 for Herbert and Roman together. What are the expectations for this offense in 2025?
Well, they're going to double down on the running game. This is a Greg Roman offense. They're going to do what they do and run the ball. They felt they could have ran the ball better last year, but they also want to find, with Justin Herbert, ways to get the vertical outside passing game going when defenses expect them to throw it. They can't just rely on the running game and the play action. So they need rookie Trey Harris, Quentin Johnston, Mike Williams that they reacquired to get that done. They're going to rely a little bit more on Herbert with the passing game they did a year ago, and you can see him actually run the ball a little bit more, be involved in some of the play action stuff using his legs. They don't want to break him. They want to be careful with him, but you can see an uptick there.
Jeremy, the other thing they're going to do is they're going to get sacked less, and here's why. They drafted Omarion Hampton in the first round. He is an explosive running back, average over 5 yards per carry. The other thing he does is he will be involved in the passing game. Caught 73 passes at North Carolina, and what Greg Roman wants to do, Jeremy, to your point, he wants to run the ball and play action. And Booger, you know this as a former defensive lineman. What's the best way to slow down pass rush? Run the ball right at the defense. So I think Omarion Hampton really accomplishes 2 things. It diversifies the offense, and I think the number of sacks, that 41 number, will be reduced this season for the Chargers.
Those are dividends of recent